All right, Corbin Smith, you have a question?
Hey, Russ, going back to Monday night in the second half, it's been a tough go for you guys to string together drives tonight, a bunch of big sacks that put you behind schedule, couldn't get any explosive plays for the most part. For you personally, how would you assess your feel right now, trying to feel the rush in the pocket? And do you think maybe that you've gone a little bit beyond what you needed to do as far as trying to adjust for those games where you had a bunch of turnovers?
Well, I think that, the Monday night game, that's one game in itself. We were leading pretty good. Our defense was playing great. And I think the plan was try to use the clock as much as we could in that game. This game, I think they did a really good job of doing some stuff with their coverage, just trying to keep everything in front pretty much. I think in the second half, we did a good job of getting the ball out, kind of having some plays where the ball's coming out a little bit quicker, this and that. And so, I think that, unfortunately we had the sack. I think that Peppers got me on one sack. We had just had kind of a big play, and they got me on that one, unfortunately. They had some timely calls and stuff like that. And so, but yeah, I think, anytime, we take sacks, I never want to take sacks, obviously. I'm not trying to get hit. I think that, you're trying to find ways to make a play and you're trying to find somebody open, and all that. And our receivers are doing a great job of battling, fighting to get, doing a good job trying to get open and stuff like that. So I think they did a good job. They did a good job of making some plays and pressuring timely pressures and this and that against us. You play this game, and this is this game. You play. Each game has its own history. Each game has its own story, and unfortunately, I think the reality of this story was we weren't able to capitalize on opportunities. I always talk about them, game-altering plays. We didn't have those plays, unfortunately, today. Like we feel like we've had, for the most part all season. We've done a great job of those, and those just didn't show up as much today. Unfortunately, and they stopped us on some key situations. Situational football, they stopped us. So, and then they score, right afterwards. So I think that's where it was. We felt like we still had a shot to win the game. At the end there. Anytime we get the ball back with that kind of situation, we think we're going to make something happen. Unfortunately, they made a couple more plays than us, and I think that's the reality. I mean, I think we've had a couple guys go down in and out, and so I think we just got to be better. We got to be cleaner. It starts with me. You got to find ways to, continue to get the ball to our guys and let them do their thing, and and so I think I always start with me first. Because I think you got to look at yourself first, and I think for me, just trying to find, a couple more drives here and there. That's the reality. I mean, the reality is we move the ball for the most part on certain situations, but then we got a sack here or something happened, whatever it may be. And so that stopped our touchdown drives, we felt like. And I think we had a few opportunities to have touchdown drives. And like I said earlier, the situational part of the game, they made their plays, in key situations. Tim Booth.
Russ, were the coverages that you saw from them today different than what you had seen on film or were anticipating, and did that cause you to be more hesitant or more indecisive with some of your decisions?
I didn't feel like I was indecisive. I think I got to go back and watch the film, and sometimes they're a good defense. To be honest with you, they've done a good job. Coached well. They had some things covered up, and they kind of try to keep everything in front in that. And we didn't really have any thing down the field or anything like that. And so once we kind of started adjusting a little bit and kind of trying to get the ball out a couple times there, DK caught a couple quick ones, and Tyler made it, one or two there, here and there. And at the end of the game, we felt like we were moving the ball. We went kind of no huddle at the end of the game in the second to last drive, I think it was. And we made some plays. We kept going. We kind of got the ball moving a little bit. So I didn't feel, I didn't feel indecisive by any means. I think sometimes they have things covered too. Sometimes, and sometimes you got to move around. And they made a couple big time plays, in certain situations. Art Teal.
Russ, it looked like your eyes dropped a fair amount to the pass rush as opposed to looking downfield. Was that, what were the problems in the pass pro that were causing that?
Sometimes I think we had some key runs there. I think, I'm always looking to throw it, Art. I think that I'm always looking to, when it comes to those situations, I'm not looking to necessarily run, but sometimes you got to find a lane to move and create space. And I think, you just got to watch the film and see where we could have, hit a couple more here or there. I think this game, like I said, guys, I think this game, bottom line, comes down to just not capitalizing our situational moments. Our defense was playing great the whole first half, and all that, and even in the third quarter there, and then they stopped us. They stopped them, I should say, late in the last drive there, and we got the ball back. It's an NFL team. Sometimes it's going to be a tough battle. It was one of those days, and so that's where I think it was. I think for me, I'll go study it. Me, I'll study the film and see where we can get better.
Bob Condotta?
Yeah, Russell, just on the fourth down early in the second half when you 4th and 1 and you end up, I guess, throwing it to Chris. Just what were you trying to do there and what sort of went wrong on that play?
It was a role play. We tried to get on the edge. They covered it well. Like I said, situational football. That was a key, and that was probably one of the most key parts in the game, to be honest with you, just because it was 4th and 1, right in the middle of the field, and we didn't get it. If we get that, the whole game may change. And like I said, you take your chances. I think you try to go win the game. You're not trying to play it safely or anything like that. You try to go win the game, but unfortunately they covered it really well. I try to spin out twice or whatever. I try to move and try to make a throw, and it's 4th down once again. So try to make a play. Unfortunately it didn't work. They covered it really well. And then I think they score on the next drive or whatever. So that was just like I said, I think our defense is battling. They're making plays. And those situations we got to be really good on offense, which I know that we will. I know that we'll fix it. I know that we'll figure it out. I know that there's no panic here. There's no. I think the focus for us is just staying together. Staying focused on the mission, and that's to win the NFC West. That's to try to do everything we can, one game at a time. Unfortunately, it didn't go our way today.
Joe Fan.
Russ, you mentioned going tempo in that touchdown drive. Do you wish you guys went up tempo more often, and can that be a remedy when you guys are struggling the way that you were to find any sort of rhythm?
I think that's a good question. I think there's something that we can look at. I think, I've always, me, I've always loved those up-tempo moments just because I think the defense gets tired. I think we kind of, are kind of pushing the envelope a little bit, especially when the game has been just kind of one of those games where everything seems, I'm sure you guys were there watching, but everything seemed kind of just slow on both sides. They were running the ball extremely, every play pretty much. The game was just kind of tick, 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 whole game. And it's just one of those games, unfortunately. But I think sometimes you got to create the momentum a little bit. I think that we kind of had to there at the end just because we got down a little bit too far, and we had to make sure that we were able to come back. And we went up and down the field. Chris made a great play on the touchdown. I think that we have to have the mixture of everything. I think that's something that we've always talked about. We've always done. I think today, I'm not going to overthink it. I think today, honestly, really just comes down, like I said, Joe, to the situational time, of football. And we didn't capitalize on our situations, and that's always going to be this game. The game of football is pretty simple. 3rd downs, 4th downs, red zones, those moments, and to win, and win, consistently, which I think we've been able to do over the years, and even this year, is you got to win those situations. And I think all the games that we've won those situations, and I think we just got to be a little bit more crisp across the board,
John Boyle.
Yeah, Russ, you mentioned no panic a minute ago. Just how confident are you the offense can get back to kind of what it was for the first half of the season when you were leading the league in scoring?
Yeah, I'm super confident about where we are, what we're doing. I think that we got to be cleaner. Like I said, we'll, hopefully, we get healthy again. We need everybody to be healthy. That's part of this game. And you want your guys to be healthy across the board. And I think also too is, obviously DK's having an amazing season. Tyler has been special. We got to get 32 going. Chris, he's such a great player, and he had a couple really nice runs. So we got to get him going, and running game and pass game. He's I think about early in the season, he was not just running it well, but he also was catching it really well, and those touchdowns he had. So he had that nice touchdown tonight. So he's going to be a key factor down the stretch. Carlos, what he's been able to do, key factor. I think we have everything we want. We have everything we need, and those guys are unbelievable players, and and I think for us, we just got to stay on schedule. We got to win situational football. That's part of this game. It is what it is. We didn't win situational football today, and but if you're asking me what I think of where we're going, what we're doing, and how we're going to get there, it's what I always tell you guys every year. I feel like at some point I had this conversation with you guys. I feel like, but the reality is that it's a journey and it's a process, and we're going to trust the process. We're going to trust in our preparation. We're going to trust where we're headed. We have a great team, not just a good team, but we have a great team, and we're getting better. Didn't feel like it today, but we are, and I'm just going to keep having faith in where we're going and where we're headed, and so we can fix the things that we didn't do great today, and that's the good thing. It's one of those things that we can fix those things, and let's be really sharp on those.
AJ McCord.
Hey, Russ. So as you talk about the decision-making process, I know you want to extend the play on those times that you end up taking a sack. How do you balance knowing when to extend the play and when to get rid of it? Because it wasn't just the 5 sacks; it was the fact that they cost 47 yards, as opposed to, I believe, your previous season high in yards that sacks cost you total was 28. So how do you balance that as you're making decisions?
Yeah, I think that a couple of them are just unfortunate. They just beat us, on a couple of those plays. But I think that sometimes you're trying to move and trying to get Tyler. One in particular, Tyler was kind of trying to break open from right to left, and the guy just kind of added and got to me late. It was a pretty, I don't know, that was probably 10 yards back or whatever. Unfortunately, but we felt like I was just about to have Tyler on that. So. They're going to make plays. I think that for me is obviously you always want to eliminate sacks, but you also don't want to eliminate the key moments, because you go back to, for example, Arizona game, when I kind of scrambled and hit DK on for the touchdown. A lot of people would say you probably go down and just throw it away or whatever it is, and you head to touchdown. So there's give and take. There's give and take, and unfortunately today. We didn't have the things that we wanted to have, so got to go back and watch the film, AJ. I think that, if anybody's critical, I'm going to be critical of myself first and see, where we can get sharper and cleaner. And, one thing that I've always, tried to pride myself in is just adjusting and seeing how, me personally, how I can get better, then also the rest of the team. And, they played really well tonight. We didn't play our best at all. And when we don't play our best and we don't do, situational football great in certain moments and don't capitalize on those moments, it makes it tough. And so, I'll be better, and I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Greg Bell.
Russ, you said the need to get Chris Carson going. I know you got a few things to think about before any 4th down, but in the last 2 games, Philadelphia and this one, did you give any thought to maybe changing the call to Carson, or to just establishing that mentality of the run there on short yardage?
Yeah, I think that there's always that opportunity. I think that the formation, without getting too much into the weeds and the details of it all, the formation that we had, we didn't have necessarily the call that we were looking for on the, we had a pass call on. And, so I think that, going back at it, I think that we should, probably go downhill, let Chris, try to run over somebody like he always does, it seems like. And he's such a special guy, player in that way, and so they covered it really well. Like I said, it's almost like they knew it was coming. They did a good job of covering it. And then we did run one on I checked one on 3rd and 2. They just, they ended up, it was a pass, and we checked it, and they just stopped it. I think we ended up running from left to right, and they stopped it on 3rd and 2. It was after that kind of scuffle, and so I think that, obviously Chris is just getting back. Obviously the Eagles game, he was in there a little bit, had some sweet runs, and this one right here, he made the touchdown pass, which was great. He had a nice run early on. He had a couple other ones too as well. And then I think also too, guys like DK and Tyler, they're the best in the world at what they do. So, you want to keep trying to find ways to feed them in all different types of ways, those guys. And we'll definitely do that. And, so I wish we converted on that one. That changes the game, drastically probably, because convert, we go down and score potentially, and they don't score, and so it changes the game, dynamic of the game. But we still had chances. We still had a chance at the end of the game. And our defense did a great job of stopping them. We always believe when we get, 149 or whatever was on the clock, we got a chance and we were moving the ball well, and they come up with a couple big stops. And then the sack that they had, kind of quickly there on that one. And so we just, and then the last shot, I tried to take a shot and we almost came up with that one, but unfortunately it didn't work, so.
Curtis Crabtree.
Yeah, Russell, just kind of in a general sense, you guys take the lead in the division last week, and then you come out and have a game like this with the defense improving. You've got the offense is scuffling here a little bit the last several weeks. Just kind of how frustrating is this moment for you guys, and how do you respond from it?
Well, I go to the truth. I think the truth is that when we play both sides of the ball, really all three sides of the ball, but when we play both sides of the ball, all together, offense and defense in particular, it's gonna be a great thing. It's gonna be a magical thing. And I've said this to you guys before. This is sometimes happens throughout the season. It's a long season. Not everything's gonna go perfect, and it's easy to ask questions and easy to, this and that. And I think that the reality is that each game, like I said earlier, is its own history. And so if we can marry those two things up together, it's gonna be a great thing. And it's a good thing to have down the stretch. Our defense playing so well. Offensively, we believe we'll get hot again and do some great things. I think going back to the Eagles game, we felt like we moved the ball really well. Once again, we didn't capitalize on our situational moments, back then. And that's what made that game a little bit closer. And then we had a touchdown, got called back. We had some other, key plays that, and unfortunately didn't work out. And that's how easy this game changes. It's 1, 2, 3 plays, and that's what makes the difference, especially on offense in particular, defense too, but especially on offense. Not a penalty here or this or that, and not this moment there. It changes the game, and so that little more focus on the aspect of starting with me from the discipline all the way across to certain moments of when we have a great run or a great pass or whatever it may be, staying on schedule, that really will help us. And I think just we'll fix that and we'll get it right. And it's been a tough season, a tough journey along the way, and we feel like we're still super zoned in. We still feel like we have everything in front of us, and we have to go earn it. You have to go earn it every day. You have to go get it, and we have to do it collectively together. And the great thing is everybody's together. Everybody in the locker room's together. We believe in each other. We believe in what we're doing and how we're doing it, and we're gonna get it done.
2 more, Mosqueda, and then Brady Henderson.
Russ, I was just wondering, like, in a game like this, just, how difficult is it when you don't have the big plays and you have limited touches to stay patient and then execute?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think that, that was kind of their game plan, obviously. I think to really slow the game down, really not allow us to have any big plays. And that was their philosophy. So, we adjusted later, on. I felt like, the first half went by pretty quickly, felt like, but going into the second half, the game really slowed down in particular. And I think for us, we, as a collective group, we'll have to adjust a little bit quicker if a team, tries to do that, and I think, and like I said, I think we make the situational, plays, and I think that changes the game. I think also too, we just got to keep believing, that something great's going to happen. And it always seems like it does. And we felt like when the defense made that stop, something great was going to happen still. They played great. We didn't. And that's just the bottom line, and so we got to make sure that we play great at each week, especially as the season goes on, and I think that we got to adjust quicker. We got to see things. We got to do things better. We got to, everything we got to do, we just got to do a little bit more tuned in. It's not like, what we did last week wasn't good. It's not like the week before. I mean, we've done some great things, and we did some even great things tonight. It didn't feel like it. It didn't feel like the whole game, obviously. And so let's lean on those things and find those things and figure out, what we can do better along the way. And so eliminating the little things.
Thanks.
Hey, Russ, first question. Are you feeling all right? You sound hoarse.
Yeah, I just probably need a little water. I've just been running around, so I'll feel good though.
Okay, and then second question is, you guys put the ball on the ground quite a few times today. I think 3 fumbles, 4 drops. Is there anything you attribute that to?
No, I mean, I think that we just got to be cleaner. We can't play that way. We got to be sharp, you know, and we got to be really crisp, especially going down the road here, you know, down the stretch here. You know, so we've been playing really good the past couple games or whatever on that front, but yeah, so we just got to be better. You need to be cleaner. You know, we got to be cleaner across the board, and just go back to fundamentals. It always will be that way. It reigns true in any sport. You know, it's just getting really, really sharp and us leaning on each other to continue to work extremely hard, which we're always going to do. And today was not our day. You know, today wasn't our day today. But we got a new week next week. We got to get going.
Thank you.
Thank you guys. Go Hawks.